I know, I'm slightly late today, but I was talking. It's like the story of my life. Why were you late, Kulipa? Because I was talking about spiritual shit. Somewhere, somehow. Okay, let's get this up. SourceTruth.com. I have half of me documents. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to tonight's session. I hope you're doing well, mysterious person. Oh, Latoya. Hi, Latoya, sweetheart. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a marvelous day. I'm having one of those days where I'm like, where you're still tired as shit from all of the upgrades that are going through, and so you look pale as hell like this, but then you're just like, fuck it, I still want to teach, but at the same time, I'm tired, but I'm like, no, I really want to teach though, so yeah. Hey there, my sweetheart. Joyce, hello, my dear. Tamiki, hi, sweetie. It's lovely to see you guys. Everybody else that is watching, welcome, welcome, welcome. Keista, I see you there. Welcome, sweetheart. Oh, it's lovely to see everybody. And again, you know what? Maybe I'll just did that help? It's sort of. It's not as cloudy. So I appreciate it, guys. Right. So we have, hopefully this is going to be more of an exciting lesson for you. Hey there, Sylvia, sweetheart. Welcome, honey bun. Oh, it's so nice to see everybody. Please, welcome. Come on in. All right, so like I say again, I really, really do hope that this last new moon and this last period, because I know a lot of us are receiving a shit storm of upgrades recently, and the exhaustion is really, really wearing in, because it's like one of those upgrades where we've been having a lot of physical upgrades. So you may have noticed that you have physical ringing in your right side of your ear, or the right side ear. And that's telling you, yay, upgrades are coming to your physical vessel, which means that we all tired of shit, including myself. Right? So besides me looking like I'm in my loungy clothes at home, which I am, hopefully we'll have a nice session today. And yeah, Joyce, a lot in your right ear. Yeah, you get it. You feel it as well, Sylvia? Oh my goodness, I tell you. It's hard not to feel this ish. I like for reals, but we all go through it and we all hear. So tonight we are going to be learning a little bit more about the language of number synchronicities. Now don't get me wrong, this is not my first time talking about number synchronicities. I have, if you were to, hey Gem sweetheart, welcome honey bun. I do have a number synchronicities document that is on my website. So if you were to go to the link in the description box and click on that and then go on to the learning and support tab, it is the first two documents that you see is going to be number synchronicities and the letters and meanings, the letter meanings for advanced spellcasting, which also can go into this lesson too. But today we're going to be going within a lot of the actual, just the number synchronicities for tonight. So I've got that document up on my laptop tonight because I didn't want to print it all off. But if you would like to go print it off, or you want to put this in your back pocket, then pop over to the website, check it out, and this will be kind of like the notes, or just a little bit more bolster to the notes or whatnot for tonight's lesson. And Mars, you're getting that too? Lots of ringing in both your ears? Yes, definitely. I always get ringing in this ear. It's like it doesn't really turn off at the end of the day because I'm always expanding my consciousness. But when it gets hard on this ear, that's when I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna have to take some naps. Right? So it's funny, isn't it? Hey? Okay, so number synchronicities, also known as angel numbers. Now, a lot of us have already heard about this. If you've already heard about me talk about number synchronicities, this will just be like a refresher, or maybe just a slight different in terms of the lesson for you, but you should be able to follow along really well. If this is your first time hearing about number synchronicities, or you only know a little bit about angel numbers, this should hopefully be quite life-changing for you. And I say life-changing because when I discovered number synchronicities, not like I discovered them, I just kept seeing numbers, and then I asked myself, what the shit does this mean? And then of course comes in, it means this, it means that. It's like, and then when you follow it, you're like, oh snap. There's a lot of change that can actually come about when you are following it. So let's, if you don't have some water, I have my water here. I'm going to take a little bit, because when I say these upgrades are going around, I mean like everywhere. My back is being upgraded, my hips, my voice, my my brain capacity, everything. So I'm like, I gotta stay hydrated. So as always, I'm gonna start with some automatic writing that I did from my own heart and my core, just to pass on to you in regards to what number synchronicities, or the kind of learning a little bit about it. So this is coming from Kelly. Hi, sweetheart. You see 111 constantly? All right. That means that you switch in timelines, sweetheart, but we're going to talk about that in just a second. So this is the right class for you. All right. To begin to understand the process of number synchronicity, it is best to learn the language of your own source first. Bet you weren't expecting that. Each number is assigned a specific meaning based on your own internal knowing and interpretation. Many of the prime numbers, or when I say a prime number, I don't actually mean in math a prime number, I just mean like 1 to 9, 1 to 9 and 0, the actual numbers. Many of these numbers are similar in meaning, but can have different interpretations based on who you are. For example, and this is an example that I have for my own self. For example, if you're looking at angel numbers, the number 5 can be seen as a strong change is about to occur. How many of you have done that? Where you look at an angel number and you see a 5 and you're like, oh my gosh, change is coming. Okay, change is coming, right? Or we're like, okay. However, I will interpret this, and I'm talking about me personally, as a need to trust my all and being in this moment. Now, the reason I would do this is because the purpose of the conversation between you and the universe, or your higher consciousness, or your heart, your core, yourself, is for navigation through the forever changing sequences of events that make up life. So simply saying a change is going to is coming, that's really broad, right? That's like, I could change my toothpaste. I could change the glass. I could go from drinking water out of jars to a glass. I won't, because I like the lid. But still, that's what the change could mean. Or it could mean that there's like a massive life-changing event. But either way, when you see 5, this is one of the reasons why, again, that I say, hey, I know to trust myself in this moment, because it lets me know to stay on my path through the forever changing course of events that is life in itself. So I hope that made sense in the way that I just put that out there. But let's recap on this. So again, angel numbers, there's so many different meanings, and I've got some of the base meanings of my own bits down here that's coming up on this. But again, the reason why I tried to look at angel numbers online and just be like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And it wouldn't really resonate with me, because I need to interpret what these numbers are based on my own core and my own understanding. So although, as we say, how we interpret this, and this is going back to this point here, many of the numbers are similar in meaning, but it can have different interpretation based on who you are. So for example, not for an example, but as I look at 5 as trust yourself more now than ever before, right? Just trust your core and trust yourself. Another person is going to be like, okay, well, that's change is coming. We're both talking about the same thing here. It is roughly the same, but we're just interpreting it based on what resonates more deeply within ourselves. So when you are, you're so a sweetheart. I love your face too. I really do. You're fantastic. Hey, Keista, sweetheart. Hey, Elio. And Keista, you see 555 and Elio 911 all the time. These are wonderful numbers. Trust in yourself now more than ever. And Elio, you got some upgrades coming your way. So snap. Make sure you take a nap. Keith, it seems I only see multiples. Now, here's the thing though, Keith. And this is for everybody. A lot of us notice the multiples, right? We notice when things are collected and grouped together. That's just naturally what we are. Like, for example, you may not notice one cow in the field because it's swallowed by green. But if there's 10 cows in the field, then you're going to be like, oh, there's 10 cows there, right? So, but numbers, again, this is why we notice these often. However, they do come at us in a various different amounts of ways. There are plenty of other numbers that we see. We just don't notice them because they're not clustered. But today, you're going to start noticing a shit ton of numbers, even if you cannot understand them. But we're going to get onto that in a second. So anyway, The point I'm making in that statement, though, is within this class today, take away the information, but also adapt it to how you interpret these numbers as well. It is not set in stone. Just because you read it on the internet does not mean that that is what it is. It is all internal to what does it mean to you, much like you are interpreting art or anything else, right? So that's something to take away. Now, the numbers, going again back to my document here, the numbers can also come in a variety of sequences that are unfamiliar. These sequences can be looked at in multiple ways to create multiple meanings. The deciphering process will be truly down to one's own awareness. Just like how a book can be read from multiple different perspectives, or a piece of art can be seen and have a wide range of interpretations. So when you see the sequences, it's up to you to know what it feels like and how it pertains to you in the moment. Okay? So how do we kind of explain that a little bit more? So for example, Jem, you see 911, 444, and 614, right? All right, so the 911 and the 444s, Kista 123. So yeah, the normal sequences, those are some pretty common ones that we see, the multiples, 444, or in sequence, 123. However, for example, with Jem there, she had 614. Those are seemingly like random numbers, and we're just like, what the shit is 614 supposed to mean? What is 1, 0, 5, 8, 9, 10, 12 supposed to mean when they're put together? And these are the sequences that most of us don't realize that are coming to us, but they actually do have a meaning. So we are going to be going through breaking down the language of these numbers, because of course each number, when we're looking at the longer sequences, each number is like a letter, right? And letters, as we know, when we combine letters, they create words. And as we are combining words, we create sentences. So by the end of this, I'm hoping that many of you will go from seeing just letters in the numbers to at least understanding a few words. And then as you formulate this, and as you really, if synchronicities really, really interest you and you're like, holy shit, then I hope that you would progress on with this to formulate sentences. And then you're going to be like one of those people who's just like walking down the street, and literally every number that you see, you're literally having a conversation with the universe where you're going to laugh at yourself, like I do very many times. I'd be like, you're so right. I walk down the street and have people look at you like, who the fuck are you talking to? And I'm like, I'm having a conversation with the universe. Manage business, you know? Latoya, 999, excellent. Oh, see, everybody getting upgrades and shit and shit. Okay, so any questions on that, please pop them in there as much as you can. But again, by the end of this, let's see what kind of things that you can come out with. So firstly, as you can say, I'm going to close my door. You know when you guys hear my door open, you may be thinking like, who's breaking in your house, like the police or something? It's my cat. She literally thrusts the door open like, why is it closed? Anyway, so as you can see, there is a number at the top of the board here tonight. By the end of this, I would love to see who is able or capable of deciphering what this means. All right, so this is kind of like the sentence that is being presented towards you. And again, I'd love to see who's able to understand that message by the end of this. Because if you can understand this message by the end of this, then every single synchronicity that has been posted on the comments so far, you'll also understand those, right? And then there's no more guessing what the hell the universe is trying to tell you. All right, so let's get started. So again, I would like to remind everybody that this is just a very basic kind of like one word keywords or whatnot to relate to these numbers. If you do want to go onto my website, the link is right in the description box. Click on that link and go to the learning documents and support, or learning support documents and all that. Learning support tab, documents and printouts is the next tab. And literally this is going to be the first the first document that comes up, which is number synchronicities. So let's go within this now. So we're going to go through, of course, the number is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and this is the correlating meaning of that number. So whenever you are seeing a 1, and I want you to think, 1 is like a letter. If I had a flashcard I was holding up, 1 would equal A, right? And look at the way you are looking at the letter A. You know it is simply a letter. That is the very shallow part of the meaning of 1, right? So I hope I'm explaining this in the right kind of way, because I'm like, am I just confusing my damn self when it goes to this? So kind of like when you are a kid and you're looking at the letter A in the alphabet, you are not associating it with anything. It is just simply A. Now as an adult, sorry, bear with me, let me close my door properly. So as an adult, when you see A, it is simply A. There are so many different things that you can do with A. A can be in supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, for example. That has a huge meaning because it's a word. Same thing with this. So 1 is, so instead of, it doesn't equal A, but the number 1, it formulates to spirit, or knowing it is your heart or your core, right? Now, it also can mean like the beginning of a, it can also mean the beginning or like right here, right now. Think of when there was only one, that is like creation itself, right? Because it starts from 1, the beginning. So put it in that way, or look at it from those terms. So now when we have 2, I need another pen. All right, you know what? I'm just going to talk about it. We're on 1s right now. So 1 meaning spirit, or it can represent, spirit or feeling of your core and all of those good things that come with the origin source of yourself. Now, if you are seeing 1, 1, we know that this is your spirit or your heart, your core directly talking to you. Now, how many of you have seen those? You've got the 9/11s or the 7/11s or 119 or 8/11 or 3/11s, 4/11s, those kinds of things, right? So when you see the 11 specifically, that is a direct recognition to your own core and your own heart, okay? Whereas 1 can mean spirit in general, 11 is like, no, that's you. This is up here, or mind you, spirit, like when we think of our core, we are immortal beings and we are all interlinked. Like literally, my perspective of this is that I am literally talking to myself right now because you guys are me and I am you. And it's just, it's a cool kind of little kind of bit and pieces there. Tamiki, you're seeing 8/11, right? Excellent. So that is your heart going, yo, talk to me right now. Or I'm talking to you right now, specific, in this vessel. Rather than the collective, in this vessel, right? That's better, as an individual. So when you are seeing 111, a lot of us see 111, right? So when we're taking that sequence of numbers, so we have 11, which is the 11, plus an additional 1. That is your heart saying, hey, I'm here, creation, right? Plus, we are doing another one of creation. So, or spirit, or anything. So the beginning of something. This is why when you see 111, you should make a wish. Because at that point, your heart has taken you to a crossroads where you can now choose to create whichever, or go into whichever timeline you want to go in. Right? Now, you may be like, okay, well, what's 1111 then? Well, 1111 is now we have your heart who's added creation, but you had another one that's now 2 11s together. So that means that your heart is now unified. You have chosen your path and you are now there. All right. So whereas your higher conscious may have been like, hey, do you want to go here? You want to go there? We're both here and so forth. But now we're unified. Let's go in this direction. So that's another way of saying your manifestation is on its way, or you have now switched into this timeline, whatever that may be. Now, a lot of people look at that and think like, oh my gosh, this means that I'm getting everything that I've wanted in my life. This means that, like, wow, make wishes, good things are happening. It means nothing of the sort. It means that literally you are now within the timeline that you have chosen to be in. Because as a creator, this is why it's so important for us to know what we are manifesting, right? It's always good. It's always very good to want to look towards the best things, which is what, well, of course that's what is really good. But at the same time, for a lot of people who are seeing 111 and they are making decisions that are going against their own heart's flow or against what is most suitable for them, then that 111 just means that you've been switched into that timeline that is not to your benefit because you chose for it to not be in your benefit. Versus, hey, this is why you get the synchronicity, because your heart's just like, yo, make a wish and make it positive. Make it a good one so that we can, again, see the 111 right after, which is to say, hey, we are now in that timeline that we want. Okay, so Amishtal, you say, I love the list. It's been super helpful the past few years. I've made some changes that are more my perspective and to what it means for me. Example, when I see 1010, I feel Master Luke Haleston. The numbers have helped me call certain frequencies like a phone number, or when I want to confirmation I'm on the right path, I'll get a click saying 1111 to signify balance in that now moment, as opposed to spirit awakening so much anymore. But that's just me though. And that's totally cool though, sweetheart. That's exactly what we're talking about here. It is, what is this according to you? Now I'm giving you guys all the things that I know that are according to myself, and see how it helps you moving forward as well. But you also say, but if it's not in a clock, like a brand new sentence altogether to bring my attention focus elsewhere. But that's kind of where I've gone with it based on how I can communicate. It may not be the same for others. Exactly. But again, when we're talking about number synchronicities, it's not for us to all be the same. It's for us to all, some of us speak different languages, The letter A or the number 1 is the same in all different countries. However, the way you formulate those will be different, right? But at least we know it makes an ah sound, right? Or at least we know the 1, we know it's just a singular, right? So at the end of the day, this is what I mean. Definitely formulate it to whatever feels right within yourself. Okay, Mars, I often notice 111, 555, 444, 69, and 33. Okay. Excellent. I really do hope that also, that you're able to decipher this a little bit later as well. Okay, perfect. And hey there, Karma. It's lovely to see you, my dear. Alrighty. So that's like kind of like number 1s. Anyway, so let's go on to number 2. Number 2 represents the present moment, or to stay within the present moment. So think of what that actually means to you, right? What staying in the present moment means. Now, for me, it means that, wow, I am literally right here. My awareness is right here on what it is that I'm focusing on and what it is that I'm doing in this very moment, nothing else. Apologies, this cat keeps on freaking coming in and out. Busting my door open like she owns the house. She doesn't even pay rent. I buy her all the food. Anyway. But 2s are representing, okay, let's stay in the present moment in this very moment, right? Because as you're staying in the present moment, that's when things are done. Staying in the present moment also assists with number 1. Because I want you to think, if you just seen 111 and then you get an immediate 222 or 2s, then you're going to be like, oh shit, okay, I'm making the wish. I just got to be present. I got to do what I'm doing. And that's going to put me on the right path. Because again, number synchronicities are conversations to help you navigate the universe, right? To give you those messages on an instant basis. So as you see, 2 is staying in the present moment. So if you were to see 22, that's like telling you, okay, you need to keep your thoughts in this present moment, right? Just a gentle reminder. It's like, all right, you got to stay here. Now, if you see an amplification of this, so a 222, that's also telling you like, yo, you need to like literally legit stay in this present moment now. So I look at these as like nice amplified reminders of what's going on. So kind of like 22, if I can make the amplifications into a person, I'd say seeing a double number is just like, oh hey, by the way, you should probably stay in the present moment at this very moment. 222 is like your heart going, All right, now like no, for reals though, you got to stay in this present moment, like right now. And a 2222 would be like, yo, bitch, why the shit? Get your ass out of the future, get it out of the past, and you need to focus on right now because it's more urgency, I would say. Because at the end of the day, if your heart is trying to manipulate the timelines to get you where you need to be, and you continuously are either thinking in the past or the future, then you're not where you need to be in that moment to get what it is that you want, which often means that you're going to have to do a lot more shit in order to switch back into the timeline that you want. So, 2s, staying in the present moment. 3s, take care of yourself, you know. I always, and when I see, and again, when you look into numerology, you can really have a lot more, you could really go into a lot of depths with this as well. But when I see 3s, it's like, okay, universe is trying to say, you need to take care in this very moment. Whatever it is that you're focusing on, hopefully it is yourself, but it will be, you need to take care of you in this moment, whether that be physically, mentally, ethereally, spiritually. Whatever care or self-love that you require at this very moment is what you need to do. Or I like to look at it as, number 1 is the single, like you single. Number 2 is like stay present because you've got a lover. And what do you do when you are with a lover? You're just like, you chilling and you're enjoying that moment, while you're with them. And after those lovers, what happens is there's babies. There's 3. And what do you do when you have a baby? You got to take care, So you are that baby taking care, right? Or taking care of yourself. You're everything there, taking care of yourself. So taking care. And again, the amplification of this, if you see the 33, that is that general reminder that you need to go to the bathroom, or that you need to go take a nap, or that you just that general care. 333, all right, now for reals, take care of yourself because some shit's about to go down if you don't. 3333, all right, now you really got to take care of yourself because something is about to malfunction. Kind of like the check engine light, on your car, or the oil change light, like, if you don't see it, you're okay, but you're aware that, I should get my oil changed. When you see 333, that's like, okay, my oil change light is on now, and then when you see 33333, or more 3s, then like, shit, my check engine light is now on. I need to get this looked into because my whole car is about to fall apart. So try to look at it like that. Okay, Orthoa, I use all kinds of numbers. If I feel it in my heart when I see a sync, I use source truth. If it feels outside of me, I just use angel numbers. Works great for me. Ah, excellent. Combine it. Exactly, right? Because it's all about what Orthoa is trying to tell Orthoa in that moment. And what Orthoa knows is both sides of the coin. So Orthoa's like, yo, shit, I'm going to use both of these to get through myself. Why not? Okay, hi there, Cheryl, sweetheart. Karma, 3 and 1 are my constant numbers, but seeing 444 and 555 a lot too. All right, well, 444, and this is for those of you who do see the 4s. Now, 4 for myself, I relate this to happiness. But really what 4 is when we're looking at numerology, it is stability, right? So think of when you're trying to build a strong foundation, right? And it's just like, okay, yes, you need it to be strong. Now, if you do have a strong foundation, hey, there ain't nothing to be sad about. So, yo, be happy. That is what I got from, or that's the genuine, honest, pushed upon me when I was at the beginning parts of my awakening, because I had realized that throughout all of the work that I had done and through all of the life that I had led, even though a lot of it was full of a lot of abuse and trauma and all that jazz, I had forgotten, or not forgotten, but I really didn't learn very well how to be happy. I learned how to cope, and I learned how to tolerate a lot of things, but to truly find my own joy comes from me being myself, and I hadn't really learned that at the time. So when the opportunity for me to understand what 444 meant, it's really like saying, hey, we've got a good foundation, so be happy. There's nothing to be sad about, right? Absolutely nothing. And so that's a reminder to me to be like, all right, I've got a good foundation. I'm good. Let's do this. let's move forward, showing, and being happy about that. So again, 444s are the same kind of thing. When you see 44s, it's kind of like just a reminder of you to be like, all right, your thoughts may be in a place of insecurity or instability. Pop them in a place of happiness. Pop them in a place where you want to be, because at the end of the day, there's nothing to be sad about in this moment. So be happy. Now this can come through a lot. That makes sense for you, Karma? Excellent. Because when you are seeing a lot of 444s, just check your thoughts for a moment. Just be like, wait a second. Am I thinking negatively? Or am I not as happy as I could be? Am I being a worrywart? Am I forgetting my blessings? Am I look around and just be like, fuck, you know what? There's nothing to be unhappy about, right? So literally let that come out. Okay. And Virgin, I see a lot of 153351. I also wake up at that time as well. Right. Again, let's look at 1, 3, and we're going into 5, which is trust. Okay, so 1, 3. So your heart, Virgin, is saying like, yo, spirit's here. Wow, okay, let's go on with number 5. Actually, before I do any of these things, let's go on to the actual, let's do this whole shit first. Okay, so, again, 444s and double 44s again is the amplification. So really just getting the message, hitting home within you to be like, yo, if you're getting 4444, then it's like, yo, get yourself out of that negative space. Look at your happiness, right? Because your timeline is going to definitely need it. Going on to 5, we have trust. Now, again, I gave you the example that we did at the very beginning here in terms of what an angel number would be versus what I would interpret 5 as. And again, a 5 does signify a change is coming, but at the same time, I look at it personally as trust. To trust yourself now than ever before, because you are about to experience something that requires you to be the individual that you are, to be yourself, to have wholehearted trust in yourself. Because just kind of like, let's say if you're a performer, right, and you sing and you do music and you've been wanting your big break in front of an audience this whole time, but you've never had it before, and of course your nerves are like freaking shot before you get up on that stage. You're like, oh fuck, I don't know if I can do this. But then you see 555 on the clock, or you see or you check something and you've got like, oh shit, 555 people are watching me, or 555. That's literally your heart going, the universe trying to say like, yo, trust yourself. Although it's a scary moment, although whatever may happen may have you feeling a little type of way, go with that flow. Trust yourself. You've got this kind of thing, right? And if you are to take that approach, rather than just like we said at the beginning, if we're just going like, oh, you saw 555 and a change is going to happen, it's not as much reassurance versus if you were like, yo, okay, a change is definitely going to happen, but I'm going to trust myself and assure myself that everything's good, right? Now, taking that stance, I will wait till the end because I'm about to ramble into some other itch right there. Nah, screw it, I'm going to say it anyway. So, taking that stance, right, that little shift in perspective can open up a whole new timeline. Because if you were to ignore that message or ignore that sign and just be like, okay, a change is coming, or I don't know what's happening, but all right, your nerves can still be quite shot, or you can still not have as much encouragement. Now, if you decided to, you know what, screw it, I'm going to put some encouragement on this, I'm going to trust myself. Now you've opened up this whole branch of timelines where you are trusting in yourself. Now, if you can imagine, if you were to step foot in those branches or timelines where you're trusting yourself, then what are you going to do to capitalize on those timelines? What will they grow into, right? And so it's kind of like one foot in front of the other, but that intention at the beginning with the interpretation of what that number meant as you are following it can have a huge impact on your manifestations and the life that you're walking upon that point. Hey there, Sean, sweetheart. Welcome, sweet pea. Lovely to see you, darling. And Denise as well. Nice to see you, sweetheart. And Toya. Excellent. Welcome, everybody. Okay, so That is trust. And again, the multiples of these numbers, 555, 555, or 5555, is going to be the amplification of how much you need to trust yourself. So if I was kind of like a little nervous about going on stage and singing, I may see a 55, kind of just be like, just trust yourself, it's all right. And I'll be like, you know what? Yeah, you're absolutely right. Confidence. However, if I saw 55, 55, that's probably because I'm shitting my pants. Right? And the universe is just like, nah, man, it's okay. Calm down. You're good. Keep going. I'll be like, yeah, okay. Alrighty. Let's go on to step number 6, or number 6. The number 6 for me is the ego, or to let loose, right? Now, we can look at it as the ego. 666 has been around for a long time. A lot of people know that. They associate it with the devil, or with the demons, or with the base or lower frequencies, the material world. It is the number of carbon, for example, which is of this material dimension. Now, some people may look at 666 and fear 666, or the sixes in general. They are nothing to fear. It is more like something to be aware of. So at the very beginning, I would be like, okay, sixes are like, okay, you are in your ego. So your spirit is trying to remind you, like, yo, that little bugger is around. And as we know, an ego is not something we like to stay in. Why? Because it's a liar. The ego is literally made up out of a persona that is not you. The ego is literally made up out of the person you were told to be or taught to be, rather than the person you are, right? And that's why I say anything done within the ego is a lie, right? Because you got to be yourself to be true. So when we are seeing the sixes, or 6 in general, or the sequence of sixes, like if I saw a 6, I'd be like, okay, so I'm holding on, or I'm being too involved in this material dimension, and I need to let go. I need to let loose. I need to remind myself that in this moment, this is the game of life. This is my light. I am a light being, or a being of energy, and I have the power to manipulate that energy. So there is no reason for me to fall victim to the ways and the woes of the material world and dimension, because I create it. Literally. We all create it. And that will be another lesson when we look at our pods that we are in. Because yes, you can very much so do that. And you know what? If you've ever seen it, it looks kind of like a hexagon honeycomb cube. Like, kind of sometimes it's a little iridescence, like you can see through it, but maybe you're looking up at a blue sky and you're like, and then you see the shimmer of what looks like a honeycomb kind of structure. Or if you're like, have you ever tried DMT or psilocybin mushrooms, or those kind of things? Like, a lot of people, when they elevate to a certain frequency level, they can start to see your pod around you. And that's why you're like, holy shit, why am I worrying about bills? Why am I worrying about all these minuscule things of life, when it's like we're in pixels? Very, very, very intricate, very heavily designed shit, but that is really what the reality is. So because that's what reality is, when we see 6, it's like telling us to let go, right? Don't worry about it. Let loose, be yourself. Get rid of that ego, because yourself is that immortal being that knows the truth and the wisdom to the entire universe and all of creation. So if you kind of let go and just remember that part, you're flying, right? And it's good. So again, 6 is like, okay, yes, check your ego, that little bugger's around. We gotta make sure you're being yourself. 666 is like, okay, you're really, really in this ego at this very moment. You really gotta let go, right? Don't take things so seriously. Let the shit go. And 66 is where it's like, okay, you are now inhibiting yourself because you are allowing this ego to run loose, or to be running rampant, right? And that is going to affect your manifestations, and that is going to affect your creation or your creative forces. So you want to get out of that sucker balls. Okay. Hey there, Toya Sweet Pea. Hey there, Barbara. It's lovely to see you. Oh, Toya, you always see 44 and 111. Oh, we just went through those too. Okay, so you may have to go on the replay, sweetie. Okay. So, Jared, I've seen 5 6s once. I think with that, that's a pretty darn strong kind of like, trust yourself. You saw 5 of them, so it's like, trust yourself. Let this shit go, please. That's what your heart would be saying, or that's what I would interpret it as. All right. Let's go on to number 7. Number 7, the 7 represents gratitude or gratefulness or energy. Well, I've got energy amplification as well. So energy amp. So again, when we're looking at the number 7, to be in the frequency of gratitude, that is, why is it also an energy generator? When you, and just think about it, when you are grateful, right? How good does that feel? Right? It is nothing but contentment in the present moment where you're just like, I'm so grateful. It's a beautiful, beautiful feeling. And when that feeling resonates through your core, what does it do? It attracts in everything else for you to be grateful for again. Now, because it attracts everything that you are grateful for, that requires you to have a lot more energy. So that's literally giving the universe the kind of like, oh shit, we got to make some money. We got to make, and when I say money, I mean energy, right? Or currency, that we can say. So if your manifestation, if you wanted to manifest a trip to Tahiti, right? And you're like, okay, that manifestation is going to take X amount of energy. Well, your heart's going to send you a shitstorm of 7s to be like, okay, let's stay in our gratitude. Let's do this. Because we know when we get to Tahiti, we're going to be grateful as shit, right? And we need to match that gratitude frequency. So get into the gratitude. It's going to amplify your energy, and you'll find that your source generates more things for you to be grateful about. So again, yeah, that's basically what that is. So if you see 77, it's going to be like, yo, I think you need to just remind yourself of that gratitude. Like, what are you grateful for? Because you may be dipping into a timeline that causes sadness, or you may be falling into the trap of the ego here, and just feeling a little bit down. So you'll see 77 or 711, for example, where you're like, be grateful. I'm here with you. Your heart's with you. I got you. Let's generate some energy for all the good shit that we want to do. Right? Make a little sense? And then if you saw 777, it's like, okay, we really need to get this. So stay within this frequency. I would often say, though, a lot of people, when it comes to the gratitude frequency, they always list off the things that they are grateful for in the long run. Like, or the big things like, let's say they're feeling really sad or stressed, and they're like, well, you know what? I'm in this cycle. I'm in a job I don't like. I'm doing shit I don't like. But, I'm grateful that I have a house over my head. I'm grateful that I have a car to drive. I'm grateful that I have food in my stomach. And I'm grateful that I have a hot shower at night. Now, although we are technically grateful for those things, but it's hard to really feel it, right? It's hard to really feel it. So what I'm going to suggest is that when you are trying to seek that gratitude frequency, look at what you are doing in the very present moment. So for example, I'm really grateful that I have this water beside me. Because why? Because when I'm looking at myself, right, with number 3, I'm like, wow, my throat is dry. And when my throat's dry, it hurts. And when it hurts, I'm uncomfortable. So I'm really grateful that I have this clean water and or this jar of water here so I can take a sip and soothe myself. And that feels good, right? So whenever you are trying to find your gratitude, you can list off the big things. If you find the generation in your heart, fantastic. But if you're still seeing that like, yo, this isn't really working, me saying I'm grateful for all these things, but I don't feel it, then look to the present moment, what's perfectly in front of you, how you feel, and what you're grateful for in terms of solving that feeling or that ailment. And then, if it still is not working, then you have to look in and just be like, yo, what am I doing with my life that is stopping me from feeling grateful, right? Because there ain't no reason why, as a creator, that you should not have a frequency of gratitude for the creation that you've made. So it's kind of like, yo, if you ain't grateful, not to say that, I'm just saying if you can't feel it in your heart, then that's when you know you're like, okay, shit, I've got to change what I'm doing entirely. Okay. A tag had 5 6s, right? Again, Jared, I'd say, like, trust yourself and let that shit go. And Jared, you say, and the people were driving so slow in front of me. My spirit really wanted me to remember that message. You know what, though? That is another way the universe does things. Because I definitely know, like, you know, when Orfern and I would be driving along or anything like that, and there'd be somebody right up our ass or whatever, and we'd just be like, we're not moving. And then they'd go, and so because they were there, they would speed off around us, and literally then we had 111 on their license plate. So it was kind of like, oh, we needed to notice them. It's just so that they could go around. Or, you know, when traffic's really weird or you're just letting be, that shit happens all the time. So I definitely take that into concept as well. Kista, psilocybin has been very helpful here. It is really, really helpful. You know, if somebody hasn't tried psilocybin mushrooms, I definitely recommend it. In a safe environment, don't get me wrong, whether you are microdosing or whether you are going on a full-fledged trip, it's definitely something to experience at least once in your lifetime. It does open up quite a lot of things. And what it is, and people look at it like, oh my gosh, it's a drug, you know, that kind of thing. And I'm like, everything is a freaking drug when you look at it like that. You could clove is a drug. You mash it up, and what do you think it does in terms of antiseptics and freezing your mouth and everything? But anyway, it's a herb. But anyway, so psilocybin mushrooms, though, it's a really great experience, especially for eliminating number 6, which is the ego part, and to let loose, because it's quite wonderful. So I definitely recommend it. Safe environment where you are calm, or if you are around people, you are safe and you feel good. And make sure you're in a good space too. It's not something to take when you're feeling like super in a bad way, because it will simply amplify that. It amplifies energy, right? So that's why when it is amplified, you get to see all these wonderful things, because you're actually seeing the truth of your core, right? It amplifies your own energy that you can actually see it, which I think is pretty good. Jared, it's really something when you're at the end of your run or bike route and your mind and body is going all crazy and you see 2222, like, I want to push myself and improve, but not the cost of, sugar plums, but not the cost of losing my train of thought to push my body harder. I guess back away from a higher perspective, like, is this a good time to go all out? Maybe just brisk it the rest of the way. You know, well, yeah, that's definitely something, because I would look at it that way as well. It really, because, you know, in that specific situation, Jared, I know me personally, it would probably say stay in the present moment to really keep myself focused, right? Because if I'm in the future, or if I'm in my thoughts going like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, or allowing the ego to just like tell me all of this nasty ass shit about why I should quit, that would be my heart going, yo, stay in the present moment, you can do this. However, if I were to feel myself and I was damn near like collapsing, or my legs were about to fall off, then exactly, brisk it the rest of the way. Love it. Kista, been really feeling gratitude for good, healthy food. Literally get a body buzz. Nice! Barbara, love the shirt. Thank you. I appreciate it. It's my lounge shirt. Kista, I'm working with psilocybin as part of my business. Quietly, if any interested, message me. Oh, please, yes. If, you know, Kista, she's got some ish going on. So the one I did mention, psilocybin, like, oh, snap. Should I be... Give her a shout. She's got a lot of good information. Yes, information. Yes. Okay. Let's move on. So let's look at number 8. So when we get down to number 8, going the right way. Now, when I look at number 8 myself, it's more of like a physically you're going in the right direction. I often use the 8s for divine navigation. And you may just be like, what the shit is divine navigation? Divine navigation is when you are literally using your intuition to physically guide you down the right path. So, for example, when it was back in April of 2018, right? April 2018, like Easter. And I had the notification that I need to go to Toronto because I need to fight the battle of the solar plexus. And I'm like, what the shit does that mean? Like, what does that mean, fight the battle? And I didn't understand it, but what I did, though, is I got a lot of 5s, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to trust it. So at the time, I looked to my ex, and I was just like, I'm going to drive to Toronto. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to be gone for a few hours. You want to come? And he's like, sure, I'll come. And so we set out. And so I knew to drive towards Toronto. And every time, so what would happen is that I would look out for the 8s. When I saw 8-8, I would be like, okay, you're on physically the right road. Like you're physically going the right way. And then I would get the like, okay, like literally with my cognizance, it would be like, all right, you're going to take the next left. And so I would just put my indicator on when it was safe, and I would take the next left. And as soon as I took that left, I may see a truck license plate which said 888 on it, which meant, all right, we are still on the right track. So kind of like the Google Google Maps, when it's just like, stay on Route 29. All right, take a next left. Oh, yes, you are on the fastest route. That's basically what 8/8s and so forth mean for myself anyway. So I'm physically going down the right path. And that's something you'll often see as well. 88, you're physically on the right path. 888, you are approaching your destination. 88, you have arrived at your destination. So kind of like how that would work is, let's say you were like, oh my gosh, when will I meet my soulmate? And then you start walking down the street because you're going to the shops, and you see 88, and you're like, oh, okay, snap, right? And they're like, okay, all right, well, let me turn and let me go into the mall here. And then you say 888, and it's like, oh shit, I'm approaching my destination of soulmate. And then literally you keep walking, and then you see a beautiful man or woman, whoever you're interested in, and you're just like, oh my gosh, they're fantastic. They give you a little wink and everything, and above them is 8888 on on some sort of screen, and you'll be like, oh, that's my destination. Cha-ching. And away you go. So that would be a little bit of an example. Oh, Kista, you sell lion's mane as well. Excellent, excellent. So Kista has some herbs and some fungi that she may be able to interest you in. So please give her a shout. Alrighty. So 8s, going in the right direction. Now, again, I do encourage everybody to look at these numbers in numerology as well, because I love the number 8, because it is just like the number 4, where you have a solid foundation. 8 is kind of like, all right, you have a sturdy, solid, like, security in this. You can move forward. Let that 8 command be with you, which is something that I told myself in Spanish, would you believe? I only speak English, so I thought that was great. So it's, again, to honor your knowing, to honor and trust in that and start flowing with it, basically, is what 8s are about on the surface. So, going in the right direction. 9, upgrades. Now, when we're looking at 9s, when we are looking at 9s, it's always a signifying factor of an upgrade. The number 9 in itself represents the beginning or end of a cycle. Right? It is one of those infinite numbers which has no end and has no beginning, but it is the beginning or the end. So I want you to think, when you see a bunch of 9s, right? That's the universe telling you, yo, we are about to upgrade. You're ending this cycle that you're in, and you're approaching another one to fulfill. So for those of you who have been seeing 9/11, there you go, Sylvia. So for those who have been seeing 9/11, I want you to think, upgrade. So the first number is 9, upgrade. You're about to start a new cycle. Something new is about to start. Or that's when you get a lot of shit ton of ringing in your ears, for example. If you're getting a lot of ringing in your right ear, you'll know that, shit, I'm getting an upgrade to my physical vessel. Take precautions to rest, to hydrate, to take care of myself. Or if you get the ringing in your left ear, you'll be like, and you see the 9, you'll be like, oh snap, I'm getting an upgrade to my consciousness. I can expect my thoughts to expand. I can expect some wonderful things to go on there as well, right? Now, and then combining that with 11, that's saying like, yo, an upgrade is coming to my consciousness, or my consciousness is with me, my heart's with me, so shit, all right, upgrade's coming, got it. And it can go in that way. So I hope that's all right. I hope that's all right. All right. So when you're seeing the nines, it is going to be the degree of the upgrade process. So for example, if you see 99, you know, you're like, or actually, let's go this way. If I see a 911, that is when upgrade is coming, my heart or my spirit is with me, and is this kind of just like, yo, it's approaching, prepare yourself, some shit's about to go down, right? And I'm like, okay, snap, preparing, we're coming to the end of the cycle, we're going to get into a new one. Then when 99 hits, that's when I know, okay, it's an upgrade, but it may not be as a severe upgrade. So I can expect a little disturbance in my regular day-to-day life, keeping my knowledge and awareness open, and just kind of going through. But it's something I can process. If I see 999, I'm like, oh, snap. This is going to be a bigger upgrade. I'm probably going to have to take a minute, a day or two to rest or recuperate or to recalibrate whatever the upgrade is that it was, but it's probably going to take me out a little bit, or it's going to be a big one. If I see 99.99, I know that's a hella upgrade. I'm probably going to need to take a little bit of time away to whether that be on the physical or whether that be ethereally or mentally. I'm going to need to have a look at that, right? So 99s, that's where we're looking at it in terms of upgrades. And lastly, we've got 0. When you see a 0, that is a change in this material world, or it's also like an increased or amplification within power or the strength of that. So let's have a look at amplification or change in the material world, right? So for example, if you see 0, you'll know you're like, oh, a change is going to come, right? If you see 0, 0, you know, like, oh, snap, this is going to be a bigger change in this material. So some shit's about to either come in or flow out. Something is materially going to be happening. If we're seeing 0, 0, 0, then we know that's like a double amplification. Sorry, 0, 0 is like an amplification times 1. Triple 0 is an amplification times 2, and quadruple 0 is like max power that is going to this. So an example of that would be, let's say if you had 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 4 zeros, and then another 1. That would be like, okay, shit, there's a good creative change that is about to happen, and it's going to be a huge change because we've got like lots of zeros ending off with a 1. So again, a lot of creation forces. So that's going to be like, yo, a ton of creativity is about to happen, right? So that would, if I saw that, I would be like, yo, I'm about to change careers, or I'm about to maybe change partners, or maybe I'm going to move, or something. I'm no longer going to be in the environment that I'm in anymore. Like something big is about to happen. Kelly just looked at the clock, 5:55. Trust it. Whatever your thoughts were, trust that ish. Okay. So we are pretty much at the end of our lesson, but I wanted to, instead of just going through these basic ones, I did also want to tell you how to put them or formulate them into something a little bit more, you know. So as we know this, let's go back to actually our sequence of numbers up here. Now, based on what you've learned tonight, what can you decipher that these numbers mean? We have our letters here. So look at these as letters. Okay, these are letters, and now put them into words as to what you can decipher them to be. So I'll give you just a hot minute and we'll work this through. 110533468889. And by the way, if you can decipher this code, let it be so. Let it be so. Woo! For those of you who'd actually like proper know what I do. When I say something like let it be so or TCOs, that means that if you can decipher that code, I will directly assist in helping that timeline come into fruition. Well, it's not that I'd help in the timeline will come into fruition. However, what you choose to do with that timeline, that's then up to you. However, give a crack at it. What can you decipher from this? Now, I'm going to definitely suggest that when you are looking at this, look at the numbers that you see in sequence together. So 1, 1, 3, 3, 8, 8, and 9, 9. Looking at those within sequence, but then also putting the 0 and the 5, looking at those as individuals to fill in the missing gaps. Okay? Right? So this would be one sentence, and as we have a dash here, that would be the next sentence. So what can you decipher is going on there? I'd like you guys to catch that up and see what you can actually get from this. All right? See what you can get from it. Okay, let's have a look here. Jared, lately I've gotten a lot of 701, 711, 717 almost every night. 12, 11, 12, 12, 12, 21, and 601, and 16. All right, let's have a look at that. You know, whilst you are, and again, I'm encouraging everybody to have a look at this number. This is the challenge for this evening, right? Can you literally decipher what's going on with these numbers? What is the universe trying to tell us? Or what am I trying to tell you? What gift am I trying to give you in these bits and pieces? Oh, Trey, oh, don't worry about it, sweetheart. I hope you enjoy the replay. Okay, anybody want to take a crack at it? If not, I'll point it out. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to leave you hanging or anything like that. But it's good to give it a go in the meantime. But Jared, the 701. So again, 7, gratitude, or you're trying to amplify your energy. 0, there's going to be a change in the material world. And 1, spirit or creation. So again, that would be the message like, hey, stay in your gratitude so that we can change. You know, to go into our hearts or into our creative forces. Because if you got to stay in your gratitude, I'm here with you. 7-11, you know, 11-1-1, like I'm here with you. Your heart's here with you. So stay in your gratitude, you know. 7-1-7, same thing. Gratitude, your heart's with you, but you really got to stay in that gratitude at the end of the day. Now, 12-12, I actually looked more like as you need to have a word with yourself right now. So 12, kind of like stay in the present moment and talk to yourself, like, and really do that like now, like communication with your hearts. That's 12-11 right there. 12-12, yo man, you're ignoring me. Like, talk to me right here. 12, you're ignoring me, stop doing that shit. We gotta reverse it. 601, you know, like let go of that ego, like change is happening, we want to create. And then 616, of course, like your ego's getting with you, I'm here with you, please let that shit go. So, and I'm sure that as you are now being able to read that a little bit more, Jared, you'll be like, oh snap. Have a look at your thoughts in the time. You'll be like, yeah, maybe I was a little bit, you know, not in my gratitude. Jared, you say, spirit is with you, changing your path. Trust yourself and take care. Be happy and let loose. You're going the right way. Here's a nice upgrade. Well done, Jared. You did great. Oh, I thought that was fantastic. Gemini, you say, spirit is saying change is approaching in the material, so trust yourself, take care of yourself. We can have happiness to let go of the ego. You're almost at your destination, so get ready for an upgrade. You know what? You guys are doing so freaking awesome. You, to be honest with you, you did it. You're absolutely fantastic. Sylvia, spirit, change, trust, and take care, be happy, let loose, going the right way, and upgrades. Excellent. Barbara, you say the same thing. Spirit says trust and change, but take care of happiness. You're on the right path and prepare for future upgrades. Absolutely correct. Right? Now, all of you who actually tried, you totally got it. You know, Jared, you started first. Everybody that's got that, let it be so. So now we are already in a process of amplification of our energy and upgrades anyway. I'm going to be nudging you a little bit in more so amplification. I think we're going to be focusing on, depending on how you action this out, that will be the direct correspondence to how much upgrades that you do get from me. So for example, the kind of upgrades that I like to give is, if you are having trouble with your clairvoyancy, I'm going to wiggle around and make some connections inside of your ethereal brain there, to literally formulate them to open up your clairvoyancy. Doesn't mean you're going to start to see some shit. Yes, it's going to mean you're going to start seeing some shit. But at the same time, it's an upgrade is an upgrade. If you are not too good on your clear inner knowing, then I will upgrade that to connect your mind and your heart. To be like, let's connect those a little bit more so that clarity of information can come through. There's so many different ways that we can do this. But anyway, so I will cater that to you, and thank you so much for looking into that for us. Now, as it comes to this though, and this was just something very basic, right? So now as you are able to read this, think about all of the different kind of things that you're able to read now. Just by using that simple formula of, hey, this is like a letter. Each one of these is like a letter. What is the word? What is it that is trying to come through? And literally, so now that when you're there, so Jem, for example, you saw 614, right? Telling you to let loose because your heart's with you and be happy. And how many times have you needed to let loose and just simply be happy, right? Be happy with yourself. Be happy with your creative forces that you have. I know that that's a lot of that is there. So again, this is the confirmation that you have. Now, things to jam all the time. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. My sweetie, you say create, so change can take place. Trust yourself and take care, and be grateful and let go of the ego, and you will be on the right path to your upgrade. You got it, sweet pea. You can get that upgrade too. Don't worry. Like for those of you who actually did get it but may not have commented first, if you still want it, you are welcome to have the upgrade too. Just do bear in mind though that it does come with ringing in the ears. It does come with a little bit of discomfort because, yo, that's what an upgrade is. But good things happen afterwards. Alrighty, so just something to leave you with before we end this class. When you see a number synchronicity, when you see a number at all, and it's just out of the blue, you know, don't disregard that. Because at the end of the day, your focus was guided to that number, whether it is an individual number or whether it is a sequence of numbers or all together or whatnot. Or even if it's just, again, like the numbers that we, just random numbers all put together. The more you are able to get out of it in that one moment, the faster the communication is going to be between you and the universe, where you don't have to use your claircognizance, you don't have to use your abilities to sit and focus. Like, no, the numbers will literally be presented to you. Communicate that way, right? Strengthen that, bolster that. And so that when you're walking down the street and you're going, man, I don't know what to do about this job and so forth. And then all of a sudden you look over there and you get 666 and you're just like, shit, yeah, you know, you're right. I'm totally in my ego. And then you look over there and it's like 53 and you're like, yeah, I should trust myself and take care of myself. That's all right. And then all of a sudden you see four fours or all of 404. And then you're like, you know what? I should be happy. Fuck it. Yeah, changes are coming. And then you're walking down the street and you're feeling happy. When at first you may not have been feeling good. So literally anything that you see, just humor yourself and take it as a message, right? And you'll notice that each time you do that, it's like, holy shit, this is an actual conversation we're having. This is an actual, like, I'm being spoken to right now. And then when you action these things, and this is the last thing I want to leave you with. When you see a number, some numbers, and you know the meaning of them, and you action that, that is you spellcasting. That is you giving your energy and the universe, the creator that is in you, the permission to flow with that. So if you are in a place where you saw 111 and you're like, oh snap, make a wish. I wish to be a president. I wish to be free or something like that. And then literally you get the 111. It's like, okay, order's been taken. I'm on the right path. But then immediately, let's say you see something terrible happens, right? And you're like, no shit. But then you get the 555 or 525, let's say, like, trust yourself, stay in the present moment and just trust yourself, you know, then you'll be like, all right, I got this. And thus your original manifestation is now back on track, right? So I'm just saying all that stuff, right? Okay, so let's have a look here. Thank you so much, Sean. I love your energy. I think you're fabulous. Hippity Dippity Z, I see my birthday often. 924, an upgrade is coming. Stay happy in the present moment. Exactly. So more like an upgrade is coming. Stay in this present moment and be happy. Right? Isn't that a wonderful birthday gift? I think that's awesome. Elio, should we consciously meditate then on numbers to manifest things? You can. You definitely can. It really does depend on what vibrates or resonates with yourself. Do I meditate on numbers specifically? No. But what I will do is when I'm spell casting, so sometimes when I'm doing paintings, you may see a number here, like a 3 or a 1 or something like that. I'm using it to command the energy within that intention at that time. Or I will use numbers to communicate, really, like in just general. So is it something I meditate on? No, but as long as I have the awareness, I can use it to either communicate or manifest or do the things that I want to do in the ways that I want to do it. But if you want to manifest on numbers, because you're like, yo, I'm a mathematician, I love numbers, then definitely manifest using numbers. It will help. But it's just quite good. I think it's really good, like on the fly when you're out and about. And you're just having a conversation with yourself. It's like, oh, surefire things, like quick change, do this, do that. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. Okay. Jem, well, look at the time, 9:11. There you go. Upgrades away. Mars, truly pray this lesson. You are highly appreciated. Going to have lots of fun with this now. I hope so. And thank you so much. I appreciate you too, sweethearts. Right. All right. I think that is it for me for tonight. I am now going to chill the F out and continue on having some nice naps and so forth. So if you did enjoy this lesson, I would definitely appreciate it if you'd share it out and see if anybody else would like to listen to this as well. But also, if you did really enjoy it, then please consider making a donation. There's a link to my GoFundMe account there and also my PayPal, because I am currently putting all of these lessons, I'm going to be formulating them into a spiritual awakening book. And I'm also going to be writing some books for children so that they can learn a little bit more about who they are and what their energy is before they get to our age as an adult and be like, what the shit am I experiencing? So to prevent that, I'm writing the series of children's books so that they can start to learn more about themselves as empaths, as clairvoyants, as seers, and so forth, and helping them to kind of keep their awareness going. And also the Spiritual Awakening book is going to be a series of these lessons that basically I'm going to formulate and put them all together so that you have a nice guide to help you during this journey as well. So it would be so much appreciated. So I thank you so much for all of you who have donated to and to support this book so far. You are amazing. And to those of you who are future donators, so appreciate you, because I really do want to get this book out. Okay, also, if you need a little extra help upon your spiritual awakening journey, or you're just like, shit, I got some questions, I need some answers, please follow the link to my website above, and you can either book yourself in for a session with me, a private session, or you can send me a DM, and we can arrange something there. But thank you. I promise that is it from me. I thank you so very much. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening, you guys. And the next time you will see me will be Sunday at 12 p.m. for Spiritual Awakening class number 32. And we will see what we are going to be learning at that time, because now I basically don't know until the day. Toya, I'd love your guidance with mine. Hey, shit, man, why not? Oh, by the way, if you do feel like collaborating and you're like, yo, I would love to sit down and talk to this lady to do a live with me, or to just have some discussions, that is also in the works. I would absolutely adore to do a podcast and have guests on there as well, so we can talk all about spiritual awakening stuff and goodness. So if that is something you're interested in collaborating, then shit, send me a DM. Let's see when we can hook this ish up. I definitely need better equipment, but we're going to get there. All right. Love you guys. Take care of yourselves and have a great night. Bye, sweeties.